Welcome to The Vault, where we reveal some of the best kept secrets for success. Our show is designed to introduce you to industry professionals in TV, movies, music, sports, and business. Now, our goal is for you to learn from their wealth of information and use it to realize your dreams. Today's guest is a jack of all trades. He's an event producer, a pirate, an actor, a stuntman, and he even breathes fire. Introducing Ted Shred. Welcome to another episode of The Vault. Today's guest, I'm so happy to introduce to you. His name is Ted Shred. Not only is he a fire breather, a stuntman, an actor, an animal wrangler, but he also is a pirate. Welcome to The Vault.
Hey, I love it, man. It is a real vault.
Yes.
I've been to places, they say, oh, this place is called The Vault, but you never get to see it. I'm seeing vaults everywhere. This is a vault.
Yeah, and you know, we don't just have one vault. The home audience hasn't seen this, but we actually have two vaults. There's one here and one behind these bars. So we have a lot of awesome secrets to success to bust out of these vaults.
And that one is the bar in there, right?
A bar?
Yeah, there's a bar in there, right?
Yeah, we can make one. We can make that happen. We can make that
Just
happen.
check it.
So let's start with your origin story.
Okay.
All right, you had a dad that was he a cowboy or a stuntman or both?
My dad was a cowboy. He came, actually, he was a horse trainer out of Wisconsin, and then he came out to Hollywood and started working with animals and stuff, and then worked his way up into being a stuntman. I mean, if you're training horses and doing westerns back then, you automatically did stunts and you got into acting. And so, yeah, my dad, his name was Don Paulson. He started the ethical treatment of film animals in 1950. And a good friend who was almost like an uncle to me was Steve McQueen. And Steve got my dad on the TV series, Wanted Dead or Alive. And my dad got on there with them and stuff and just kind of took off from there and worked on, The Lone Ranger, the Cisco Kid, High Chaparral, all kinds of stuff.
So tell me what that was like growing up as a kid, being around all that.
You know, I didn't think much of it as a kid growing up. There's a lot of cool people that used to come to our ranch. We had a ranch just outside of Phoenix. And we had like all these celebrities that were my dad's friends coming. So it was like Uncle Clayton Moore, who was the Lone Ranger, Jay Silverheels, who was Tonto, and their families would come over and stuff. Steve McQueen, the Carradines. I mean, all kinds of people used to come visit us, and I never really thought much of it. It was just a part of my lifestyle. And then after growing up, I look back, I go, wow, we had a lot of famous people around.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, you just kind of grew up in that environment, which leads me to the next question. And I've known you for a long time, but I kind of see you as the greatest showman. I mean, Hugh Jackman's got nothing on you. And the reason why is, tell me why people will call you that.
Well, my whole life I've done entertainment. I've only had two real jobs in my life, and one was a title and escrow officer. And
what?
Then,
I could not imagine.
Exactly. Well, I wanted to buy real estate, and I didn't want to go to school. Having ADHD, you just don't do good in confined areas like a classroom or anything. So
yeah.
I just learned on the ground, hit the ground running, and just went for it. But aside from that, I always stayed into entertainment. I've been a radio disc jockey. I used to produce radio shows. Actor, musician, played drums from since I was 9 years old up until, had a couple record deals and stuff. I gave up when I was about 30, the music end of it, but I still involved here and there with it. And then designing and producing entertainment events and stuff, and that's kind of where I'm at today.
So tell us about the event company that you work with.
Well, my company is Double Dog Dare Events, and you can find us at doubledogdareevents.com. And I basically started this as a struggling actor and stunt coordinator in Hollywood. And we had a writer's strike, and us being SAG or union members, we had to support our brothers and sisters, and we had to go on strike, and I had to pay the bills. And then I had my collection of exotic animals, and they're not cheap to feed, and vet bills, so I had to start something I knew, and I really know how to party, so I thought, I'm going to be an event designer. So I'm going to teach people how to party like what I want to party. And when I was a kid growing up, you saw all these movies back in the, I'm giving my age away, but back in the 60s and 70s, and they were in Hollywood where beautiful blondes and these gold lame dresses walking in with leopards with diamond-studded collars on them, and I thought, I want to go to those parties. So I came to Hollywood, couldn't find them. Nobody had those parties. It was just all make-believe. So I said, the heck with it, I'm going to create those parties. So I started Double Dog Dare Events. Someone says, hey, I double dog dare you to do this. I did it and blew their minds and been doing it ever since.
So I've been a part of some of those events, luckily, and I've seen you in action, and I've seen the looks on these guests' faces when they see you just blow like a 12-foot ball of fire out of your mouth, and I've seen white tigers, and just tell me through Give me some of the war stories that you've had on these events.
War stories.
The short version. The short version.
Well, I don't want to incriminate myself. I mean, what's the statute of limitations on some of this stuff? Okay.
1 year. 1 year.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I can tell you some of this then. All right. So we've had clients that have pulled things like, oh, I paid for the bar. I guess all the liquor goes home with me. And it's like, no, it doesn't. So I've had them actually pop the tops of the bottles and start swigging out of each one as I'm trying to move it out. And so then you have to bill them for what they just destroyed and contaminated. And I said, okay, you bought it now, and then they don't want to pay it. So the pay thing, I think, seems to be the hardest thing here in Hollywood is get people to pay. And everybody that is an entertainer, or usually it's the ones that are new money. I get a lot of musicians, rap artists, people of that nature that come up with new money and they just think they own everything. And I've had them like throw stuff on credit cards and then do chargebacks. And I have to fight to get my money, and that's happened.
Yikes,
so
that is tough.
the money thing is tough with some of these big productions. I mean, I have clients that spend anywhere from a basic party starts out at about 25 to 50 grand, and I've had people spend up to $1 million for one night.
Dang.
I've had the subcontract with other event planners to put it together and stuff, but we have. And we've traveled all over the world doing parties for celebrities and big international companies. There's one company flew us to China, and we were on the Great Wall of China and did a pirate event on the Great Wall of China in Beijing.
My gosh, that's
DJ
crazy.
AM was still alive at the time. He was our DJ at the
Nice.
time. So, you know, we've been everywhere with this stuff.
So we, I think, met on a Tom Hanks event. And maybe you could talk about the circus element to what you do.
Well, we were doing an event. It was a cancer charity event for Mary Jo Sperber, I think it was, and she was on Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks. So she was going through brain cancer treatment, and she passed away from it. But she was always in the forefront of raising money to help kids and people with cancer. And we were a part of one of her charity fundraisers. And Tom Hanks was a ringmaster. Oh God, there was so
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, yeah, was on there.
Yeah, there's all these people that were.
Chiklis, Michael Chiklis, he was there.
Yeah.
We had so many celebrities that volunteered and came in, and it was part of my job to put this whole circus team together with you.
Yeah.
And you coordinated, I coordinated. I
great.
brought my sideshow people in. We had sword swallowers, we had little people, snake charmers, bed of nails, people lifting
Stuff with
things
their
with the
tongues.
piercings, they had tongues, nipples, earlobes.
You had contortionists also.
Yeah, contortionists we had there. We had whirling dervishes. We had all kinds of just interesting characters, and I did the fire eating and fire breathing.
That was awesome.
And I've been doing that for quite a while, and I've got a unofficial record of 28.5 feet. If you ever see the movie The Crow 2, not the good one with Brandon Lee, the kind of sucky one. I was in that second one. But in there's a crowd sitting there, and that director kept saying, "Ted Shred, can you hit that scaffold?" I kept blowing fire. Got a 28.5 foot flame.
Tell us real quick, what is the trick behind not swallowing the fuel that you put in your mouth? Like you have it like in this bottle and you put it in your mouth. So tell us the technique.
Well, the technique of it all and how it all started, I was a young, influential kid and went to a Kiss concert. I was in the front row, saw Gene Simmons blow fire. I was about 14 years old, and I said, wow, and the audience went nuts. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go home and try it. Never thinking what could happen. So when I smelt the air after he blew fire, it kind of smelled like charcoal lighter. So I grabbed a can of Wizard charcoal lighter. I mean, that stuff, you can clean anything with that. It's like a solvent almost. I put it in my mouth, and I made a torch out of a baling wire and a tube sock, and I blew fire off it. And, excuse me.
See, that's part of you remembering.
Exactly.
That's probably
It's
what
making me
happened
choke up
after you drink that lighter fluid.
But no, I then started thinking, this stuff can't be good for you. It's got to something's got to get absorbed in it, even though you're not swallowing it. So I couldn't find any books. This is pre-computer and internet and stuff, so you had to go to libraries and stuff. So I went to my doctor, and I asked, I had this great doctor named Dr. Norman. I said, Dr. Norman, I said, I'm teaching myself how to do fire eating and fire breathing. I go, what could damage myself if I swallow this, or if this stuff absorbs in my mouth? And so he gave me some books to look up, medical books, and I found out how bad this stuff was. So you learn real quick, do not swallow it. But if you do, you got to prep beforehand. So what I do is I take charcoal tablets, because charcoal will filter anything on your liver and kidneys. I drink about a gallon of water, get the urinary tract going and stuff, and then when I'm done, I drink about a gallon of aloe vera juice, because that replenishes your organs and stuff and helps heal anything that gets damaged, if anything does get in your system, and it really will dilute anything too. Damn. So you got to prep for that. The biggest worry though is when you're blowing fire, hot air meets cold makes a tornado. it can come right back at you. So if it's too cold out and stuff, it becomes more dangerous. And then wind too.
Actually, I was worried about can it come back down?
Oh yeah, it can come back.
Burn your lungs?
Yeah, if the fire comes back and goes in your mouth and there's fuel still in there, it could explode, causing a minor explosion, which would force it down into your lungs. And your lungs are full of little fibers.
Yeah, full of air.
Yeah, but these little fibers, if they get burned, they never heal, and you'll have chronic, I hate to say it's chronic gross, but pus and fluid in your lungs. It's having chronic pneumonia the rest of your life, and it'll eventually kill you. So it is a very dangerous thing, so don't do that at home, okay?
Don't do it, only him.
Yeah,
Hire him.
Find better ways to make a living and stuff than eating and breathing fire.
So, what's up with the wolf? You walk around with the wolf all the time. Like, we were at a restaurant the other day with my family, and he was there, and I was like, my kids are like, look, a wolf. I go, don't pet it. And I was like, oh, I know him, but still don't pet it. So tell us about this wolf and how you came about having it. This wolf's been in more movies than most actors.
Yeah, she's the most working wolf in Hollywood. What happened is because my father had studied the ethical treatment of film animals, I grew up with bears, monkeys, hawks, owls, wolves, horses, you name it, we had it. Or we were exposed to my dad's friends, always came by with elephants and lions and stuff as kids growing up. So I have no fear of any animal. I've never been hurt by any animal, knock on wood. But the thing is the wolf has always been my favorite. I've had a lot of them. I've trained a lot of them. And this one particular one I have right now, her name is Willow. And she has her own Facebook page and Instagram under The Willow Wolf. And you can see some of the movies and commercials and videos she's in. But she was confiscated from an actor who was working on The Walking Dead. He wasn't a name actor or anything. He was just someone that was coming in town to work. And he was from Oklahoma, where she was legal. And he had a hybrid wolf with her, and he was staying at the Oakwood Apartments, which I think is now called the Avalon Apartments, over there by Universal. And he locked him in his room and left to go to set. And if you own a wolf, you're the pack leader. They look at you as the pack leader. So if you leave, they want to find where you're going. You can leave for a while, but then they start to worry. So they were howling and making noise.
Oh my gosh.
So that night when he came back off set, they told him, your dogs are making a lot of noise. You got to do something about it. He's only here for 2 more days. The next day he left again. He came back. Animal control was there, Fish and Game was there, the police were there, the management was there. The wolves tore through the wall into the next apartment. It tore both apartments up.
Wow.
So they asked him, can you please leave with the wolves, and he had to pay for all the damage and stuff. If you get him out of state tonight, you can take him with you. If not, we're going to confiscate him. So he surrendered him. So Rain, which was the hybrid wolf, she went to a husky rescue because she was part husky. Willow wasn't, and Willow went to animal control and Fish and Game. And they kept calling me, asking me to please come take her. I was referred to be the guy that would be perfect for by many animal trainers. And Tia Torres, who has that TV show Pit Bulls and Parolees, Tia even told them about me, and I used to help her with wolves and stuff back in the day. Tia helped me get Willow, and it was like the 3rd time they called me. They told me if I didn't take her, they were going to euthanize her because no one wanted her. So I took her, and she's been with me since she was a year old. She's going to the 21st this month. She turns 10. And a lot of people don't realize this. Wolves can live twice the age that a dog their size lives. Like her best friend was a Great Dane who just passed away at 10. She's going to live probably another 10 years. She'll make it to 20 if I take good care of her and stuff.
So what kind of diet does a wolf need? I can imagine this is an expensive pet.
They're meat eaters. So
how much? Meat?
Well, you've seen her. On her hind legs, she's 5'9". And she stands up, and she's 145 pounds. That's about the size of a teenager or something. So whatever you figure a teenager's going to eat weight-wise in food, she's going to eat in food also. But their diet's mostly meat. So we do about 5 to 6 pounds of meat with some brown rice, sweet potatoes. And she's got to pick out her own sweet potatoes, too. That's the funny thing. If I pick out one at the store and give it to her, she may not eat it. But if I take her to the store with me, which we do...
They let you bring wolves into a supermarket?
Yeah, she goes right into Ralph's and Vaughn's with me, where I live at, and they all know us. And she'll go right up to the pile of sweet potatoes, and she'll smell, and she'll find the one she wants, start grabbing it with her front teeth. She won't bite into it, she just nibbles at it, and I pull it out, I'll put it in the basket, and she'll follow it. That's hers.
This sweet potato is wolf approved.
Exactly. And so she's been to some real famous restaurants, and we've got her in, and she lays on the floor. So one of the things I trained her, and it's real easy with any animals, for me it is, because I was raised doing this, is for every 5 or 10 bites of food I take, I offer her a bite. So in a wolf pack, the pack leader will eat first, and then allow the others to come into the carcass or the kill, and he'll let them get some food, and then he'll chase them off and let the next one in. So he'll alternate them, so they know he'll take care of them, or she, depending on the pack leader. And with me, if I take about 10 bites and offer her a bite, she's going to lay patient, waiting for her food. so she's perfect in restaurants. And when we take her into them, she goes under the table. So a lot of people they see her come in and go under, but then the crowd may change and they don't know she's under the table.
Oh.
And when I walk out of there, people are like, they'll be eating and just stop. It's like dead silent. They watch me all go, oh, sorry, yeah, we had a wolf with us. And she walks out, people just love it. The restaurant owners just love us. They usually give me free chicken breasts or turkey patties for her.
Hey, you're free marketing. You're like, hey,
Exactly.
hey, we serve wolves.
Well, one restaurant has that. There's a restaurant in Monrovia that has on their website, we are wolf friendly.
Is it Seasonings Alley?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so let's talk about animals. When I came one time over to visit you, I think I was paying you a check for an event that we hired you for, and I told you the story already, but I'm going to tell the audience because I think it's hilarious. I was walking in, and all of a sudden this like scuttling noise was walking around. I couldn't see. It was like, you know, like the velociraptors like in your peripheral. Next thing I know, I see this giant like 10-foot iguana. I felt like it was 10 feet.
Above the curtain rod?
And he's like above the curtain rod. And I was like, whoa. And I just remember like, oh no, it's feeding time. She's hungry. I'll take care of it. And you went in your freezer, you pulled out a dead rat that was frozen.
Oh, not the iguana. That would have been a monitor lizard.
Oh.
Iguanas are vegetarian.
Okay,
but, yeah,
so it was a meat eater
yeah, it was
because
a monitor
you pulled out
lizard,
this frozen dead rat that was like this, and you put it in the microwave and defrosted it. And I was like, all right, can I just pay you? But, you know, that's part of, you know, being an animal wrangler. Yeah, well, it was pretty funny though.
It was in a Ziploc bag though. Granted, I put it in a Ziploc bag, and the thing is, if you're in a hurry, you can do a quick little defrost on. Normally, I put it in a tub of hot water. No. I got it down. A friend of mine showed me, told me what to put it at because he's had them pop in his microwave.
Oh, it's horrible.
But no, quick little defrost like that. Then you throw it in the hot water. It speeds up the process.
How to defrost a rat? I bet you didn't know you're going to learn that. That's a secret of the vault right here.
But the monitor lizard and stuff like that, you know, being a reptile, they have to eat their food warm and stuff like that, and they have to stay warm because if it gets cold in their system, it will rot their guts and they can get infection, die from it. So and most of them won't take anything that's cold. They want it like room temperature, body temperature, warmer to grab it. And our snakes, we have. I think at that point when you came over there, I had 1,000 snakes in my garage.
Oh my
I raised all kinds of boas, pythons. Back then too, I had spinning cobras, I had rattlesnakes, stuff. And
that's kind of my nightmare.
It was a lot of people's nightmares. I found out.
Oh my god! So like, have you ever had it where you're sleeping and one just kind of goes across your bed?
Okay, I'm going to share this real quick. I'll make this real brief. Okay, being on Facebook, you reconnect with a lot of people. A lot of girls I dated reconnected with me.
Oh my gosh.
And then as chatting with and talking about subject on my page, they started figuring out that they all had dated me at one point in my lifetime. And they started talking, and 4 of them actually said, you know what, we're going to make a coffee table book about you. Everyone had a Ted Shred story about something with animals or something crazy that happened with entertainment. And the 2 that cracked me up, one girl came over and she said, yeah, she goes, I remember I went to his house one time, and he was showing me around, he goes, oh my God, my spitting cobra got loose. Just jump on the bed and don't get off the bed. So she got up on the bed, she spent the night with me, next morning got up, she goes, did you find the cobra? I said, what cobra? She was spinning cobra. I go, oh, I didn't have one. And I didn't have one at that time.
That was your
But you got in bed. Then another one.
Always about a snake in the bed, right?
Well, then the other one was an iguana up on the curtain rod.
Yeah.
I was laying in the bed with some girl, and we're just kind of kicking back.
Keep it PG.
I'm just kicking back talking. And suddenly this plop right in the middle of the bed.
Oh, nightmare.
She like freaked. What is it? I go, oh, it's just Spike. And my iguana, Spike the iguana, walks across the bed. And he goes into the bathroom, which I had a motion detector sensor on there. But the light goes on. She goes, oh my God, did he just turn a light? I go, yeah. And then she goes, what's he doing? I go, he's going in the shower to go to the bathroom. And he would. He was potty trained.
Man.
We'd leave the shower door open. He'd go in there and just crap in the shower. And we'd just rinse it down the drain. So they were laughing about that. These 2 girls were sharing that story, and they decided they want to do a coffee table book about life with me or dating me. So.
All right, so let's talk on this, one of the few last topics that we have on what is it like being a pirate?
It doesn't suck.
Tell me
it's
about
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, tell me about Pirates of the Caribbean and like.
My whole life, my father was a cowboy, so he raised me to be a cowboy, doing all the cowboy stuff. But aside from that, I got into the old Errol Flynn movies and the Douglas Fairbanks Jr. movies and Basil Rathbone and stuff. And it was something cool about wielding a sword and jumping around and just being a badass. And he always ended up with the chicks and stuff. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a pirate, you know? So I grew the hair out long. I didn't think I was going to rock and roll yet. I was still wanting to be a pirate. So I've always had long hair. And I used to make my own swords as a kid growing up. And so then when I got into the event planning business, I was looking for pirates for a kid's bar mitzvah. And I'm like calling around. I go, I'm looking for a pirate troop. So I'm getting guys that are...
That's so funny.
Well, they're
Pirates for a bar mitzvah. Okay.
Well, at least they didn't ask for a pirate for the moil.
I knew this would be a good interview. Okay, go ahead.
So I start calling around, and the only pirate I could find was a guy twisting balloon swords or someone doing fake tattoos on a kid. So I go, this is crappy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can find circus people, I can find some cowboys, but I can't find pirates, so I started Pirates for Hire. And you can find us at piratesforhire.com. And that's spelled out F-O-R, not the number 4. Since we started that, there are other people that are jumping and riding my coattails trying to pick up stuff, but Pirates for Hire. But
F-O-R.
Yeah, F-O-R. So Pirates for Hire started, and that was in 1992 when I started my event planning business. I had to put some people together, so I got some stunt guys and people I worked with in the film industry. And we started putting our clothes together, making our own. You couldn't find pirate clothes, so we had to make our own. And a good friend of mine, Tony Swatton, was making swords for us at the time, and then we met another armorer named Spike, and he started making swords for us. So I choreographed some sword work, and I was in fencing when I was in college, and I won some bouts and stuff then. So I basically started teaching my guys all these fencing moves with cutlasses, and we would write our own scripts and make our own plays up. Nobody died, because I started thinking, if we kill somebody, how do we explain this to kids? And we don't want to kill things and people. And then how do they come back after that, you know? So we would break all the death movies. Right, you see someone get run through, some comedy bit, like, oh, hold on. We can't do that because we got to get paid still, you know? And things like that. The kids would start laughing and crack up. And then I started catching on. We need to mix some history with some pop culture and just fun. So the old Batman series that we used to watch when we were kids with Adam West and Burt Ward, I started watching those episodes and started basing my pirate shows on the old Batman episodes and seeing what they're doing. And that's kind of where it came together. And it's built up since 98. Well, 98 it became a full-time business with, I had to use the name and create its own entity with it. And then the movie series came out, Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it was 2000 or 2001 it was released. And a lot of my guys worked on the show. They were doing extras, stunt work. And Ronnie Rodriguez, who is my Jack Sparrow, my #1 Jack Sparrow, he's Johnny Depp's actual photo double. He does a photo doubling for Johnny Depp all the time.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, I can imagine you could help us book a lot of guests for this show because you, once again, are the greatest showman. You have the greatest show on earth. You've got the woman with the beard and the aerialists and the contortionists and the white lion, white tigers. I mean, it's
we got 2 bearded ladies now.
endless. Bearded? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got 2 bearded ladies now.
So let's ask our final question, which is once again, this show is called The Vault. I would like to know what Ted Shred's secrets live in the vault.
What secrets live? Okay. One of the secrets that I always tell everybody: be true to yourself. Do not cut yourself short. Ask what you feel you're worth for your time and your efforts, and always have pride at what you do. Show your dignity and your pride in your work, because in the end it does pay off. You may not have a client that's going to want to give you initially cash for it, but in your heart and your mind you'll know that you did the best you could, and your reputation will grow from that. So that's a big, big thing.
Could you elaborate on being recession proof as that being a secret of the vault? Because I really feel like you have so many things, like no recession could wipe you out. You know, there's always going to be a need for one of the things you do at least, right?
Yeah, it's the thing is like my father always told me, don't put all your eggs in one basket, or keep several irons in the fire, and just whatever one's working at that time, start going with it, but don't give up on the others. So with being an event planner and entertainer, I've developed entertainers for marketing, real estate. Believe it or not, I get realtors that hire harpists, violinists, strolling magicians to be at an open house. So I find ways to reinvent where to put entertainment where most people wouldn't think.
That's cool.
And I try to think outside the box all the time with this. And it's like the sky's the limit. I mean, if you just walk out in the world and say, where would an entertainer be and what would that entertainer be like, or what you want there, and put it here. And all it takes is just to ask a few questions or mention somebody. Someone might have the same vision you do, and it might have the same enthusiasm you do, and they're going to write you a check and say, make it happen.
So what would you tell the younger Ted Shred? I mean, you're pretty much the younger Ted Shred. I mean,
I've never grown up.
I want to be a pirate. I want to be a rock star. I want to be a, you realized all that, you know?
Every one of my girlfriends said I had that Peter Pan syndrome. I
Yeah,
never grew up.
totally.
I'm stuck in Neverland.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I've grown, but not grown up. I've grown and adapted to what the world is out there. And if you stop and think about it, even as a kid growing, we never stop. So no, I'm not a grown up. I'm still growing. But with that, to tell my younger self things that would be of importance is just be on time. That's always a good thing. But don't be so nitpicky about things where it's gonna hurt your own psyche and make you not follow through with what you need to. I mean, don't psych yourself out where you don't want to do something or you have fear. Try to drop all fear. There's nothing to be afraid of, because you know we're all here. We all got here the same way. We're all going out the same way, pretty much. But don't have fear to try anything. Try whatever you want. I'm a proof that you can do it. And I didn't have computers to do the research back then. It was the library for me. I remember I started a landscaping business, and I had nothing for a portfolio, but I could see what could be done, and I knew my abilities and what I could do. So I went to the library and I got books on landscaping, and I photocopied pictures, and I built a portfolio, and I would take it to people and say, hey, look, I could do this for you, I could do that for you, I could do that. I didn't say I did that. I said I could do it for you. And they would hire me, and I would duplicate or make that happen for them. And suddenly I had a landscaping business that was, out of 5,000 landscapers in Arizona, I was in the top 5.
Damn. Well, we'll end it with that. Once again, tell us one more time all the different ways we could find you on social.
Well, you can find me at doubledogdareevents.com. That's the event planning business. You can find us at Pirates and then FOR4hire.com. That's the pirate business. And then you can find us on Facebook under The Pirates for Hire. And you can find me on Facebook under Double Dog Dare Events on Facebook. If you want to follow me as Ted Shred, just look up Ted Shred on there. And I think the picture of me on there right now is with me probably either blowing fire or on a Harley or a wolf on my shoulders. I mean, you'll recognize me. You'll see me there.
Well, like I said, I think you're going to be the best friend of our booking agent here. And you can help us get tons of amazing talent
Absolutely.
to share, once again, their secrets from the vault. So we'd like to say thank you guys very much for watching our show, and we are very happy to have you here, and we'll see you soon. Take care. All right.